This is lesson number 7 in the series of lessons called Music Theory for Banjo Players. Let's talk about chords in a key. You've probably heard that the 1, 4, and 5 chords are major, the 2, 3, and 6 are minor, and the 7th is a diminished chord. Well, where does that come from? We're going to illustrate that. I'm going to keep it simple to start with the key of C, and we're going to build a triad on each scale degree of the C major scale, and that will be chords in the key of C. And we'll look at each one and see, well, is this chord major? Is it minor? Is it diminished? Is it augmented? What kind of chord is it? Now, we're going to do this discussion for the key of C, but it could work just as well. You could do it exactly the same for any other key. Might be a good exercise to try that for a few other keys. We're going to look at figure 7.1, chords in a key. And if you look at the top half of figure 7.1, it's simply the C major scale on the staff. And middle C is that little ledger line below the staff. So the C major scale goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, up to C again. Now, looking at the lower portion of figure 7.1, I've built a triad based on each of those scale tones, and let's see what kind of chords they are. The first chord has C, E, G. These are the 1, 3, and 5 of the C major scale, so that's C major. That's a major chord. The second one has D, F, and A in it, and these are the 1, flat 3, and 5 of the D major scale, so that's a minor. That's a D minor chord. The third one has E, G, B. These are again the 1, the flat 3, and the 5 of the E major scale. The fourth chord has an F, A, C. These are the 1, 3, 5 for the F major scale, so that's a major chord. The sixth one has A, C, E. This is the 1, and again, flat 3, 5, so that's an A minor chord. And the seventh one has a B, D, F. Now these are the 1, the flat 3, and the flat 5 of the B major scale. So this is a diminished chord. That's right out of the key. That's where they come from. Now, there's another way to look at it. If you look at the bottom portion of figure 7.1, I put major third and minor third. So you can define chords as major, minor, diminished, or augmented by the stacked thirds, how they stack up. Well, you'll notice the C is a major third with a minor third above it. That makes it major. The D has a minor third with a major third above it. That makes that minor, D minor. Same thing with the E. It's a minor third with a major third above it. That makes that E minor. The F, again, is major third with minor third above it. That's a major chord, F major. The G, same thing, major third with minor third above it. So that's a G major. The A is a minor third with a major third above it. So that's a minor chord. And the B has a minor third and another minor third above it. So that makes that a diminished chord. So that's a couple different ways of looking at whether they're major or minor. And you see the result is 1, 4, and 5 are major, 2, 3, and 6 are minor, and 7 is diminished. And this will hold true for every key. Now, of course, in any given song, you can have notes outside of the key signature. You can have chords outside of the key, but for talking about chords within a key, that's the way they stack up. A lot of songs, especially ragtime tunes, have the 2 and the 6 will maybe be major instead of minor. So you're outside of the key signature, but that's okay. We're after a sound. We're after a brighter, raggy sound, perhaps, in that case. Now, how about we do the same thing with adding in the 7th? So instead of 3 notes stacked thirds, we have 4 notes stacked thirds in the key of C. Again, top part of Figure 7.2 shows the C major scale, and the bottom portion shows stacked thirds making up a seventh chord. We could do a complete analysis of this, and that would be a good exercise to go through, but for now, let's just have a look at the chords. The C is a C major 7, so that has the 1, 3, 5, and 7. D is a D minor 7. The E is an E minor 7th. The F is an F major 7. The G is a G7, or we could call that G dominant 7. So that's got 1, 3, 5, and a flatted 7 in it. A is A minor 7th. B is a B minor 7 with a flat 5, half diminished chord. And then we're back to C major 7. Now, let's just play the chords in the key of G, say. The banjo's tuned to an open G. We have 3 basic chord forms to choose from. The A form, which I call the bar form usually, the F form and the D form. Just to keep it simple, chords in the key of G. And again, the important thing to notice here is if you look at the standard notation above the tab, we're in the key of G, 1 sharp, that's the F sharp up there in the key signature. And looking at all those chords, we've got the diagrams and then we've got the notes involved. There are no accidentals in this music anywhere. What does it mean when there's no accidentals? It means everything, all those notes are within the key signature. So these are the chords in the key of G, and we go G, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, and then F sharp diminished. All right, let's just play these ones so you hear the sound of them. The open banjo is a G. Now we're going to go to A, but it's got to be minor. So instead of just simply barring the 2nd fret, we got to flat that 3rd. There's our A minor. B minor, we're going to move up a whole step. C, we can just bar right across the 5th fret. That's our 4 chord. D, again, bar straight across the 7th fret. Now we go to E, it's going to have to be a minor again. So we're only using a couple simple forms here. Flatting the 3rd of that bar form, that A form. And then that's E minor. Now, F sharp diminished. If we were to make an F sharp, just with a bar, we would bar at the 11th fret right here. But we want an F sharp diminished. Remember, this bar form is 5, 1, 3, 5. So we want to keep this 1 on the 3rd string. That's the F sharp. And then just place a bar at the 10th fret. So we've got our F sharp, and we've taken the other 3 notes and flatted them by moving down 1 fret. So now we've got the flat 5, 1, flat 3, flat 5. And then, to complete it, going up to G at the 12th fret is the bar. So that's the chords in the key of G played on the banjo. Another good exercise would be, okay, take the F form and do the same thing. Play all the notes, starting with a G here at the 5th fret. I call it 5th fret because the root's on the 4th string at the 5th fret. That's your G, and then go A minor, B minor, and so forth. 1, 4, 5 major, 2, 3, 6 minor, 7 diminished. And then do the same thing with the D form. Walk that thing up starting with G and play those chords. And as you do these exercises, think about the note names and also think about the note numbers. It's important to know which notes are on each string. Where's the root? Where's the 3? Where's the 5? And if you add a 7 in, where's that? You know, a half step below the root, or flatted 7 full step or 2 frets below the root. All right, that's where chords in the key come from.